So I just recorded an entire video, but then I was wondering, okay, what can I actually talk about? And I realized what they don't tell you about early 20s. And these are things that I learned or am learning currently as I am navigating through 23. This is what, month 4 or 5, and I'm already like needing to teach myself new breath exercises to try to survive and tread water. But I feel like one thing they don't tell you is that it's okay to not know what's next. I feel like maybe I just felt that guilt for a while. I felt guilty not really knowing what I was really doing with myself and having a secure plan. And because of that, I was, like I said, if I end up posting the first video, I ended up kind of just doing what everybody expected or choosing the easiest plan, the predictable one. Do this, do this, do that, do that. And I don't think people understand how out of place I be. Cause when I was in college, I was over here trying to get my college people to do full on like music. Like we was in choir. I was making we were in bands. Like they were doing what I wanted to do. I was utilizing college as like my creative space, which of course, undergrad, you can do that kind of stuff. But when you get in your master's, you need to focus. You can't just be working on music all the time. You know what I'm saying? But another thing they don't really tell you is people become a little less predictable, but also very predictable. It's one of them you gotta kind of follow your intuition as you get older, because people may not be what they seem, but sometimes they're exactly what they seem. So you really can't, you really never know. Sometimes people aren't as, I feel like in school you grow up with everybody, so you kind of know what to expect out of your surroundings. But as somebody that kind of left a town, as soon as like I went to college, it was just you start to realize that everybody. I mean, technically, I'm learning that it depends on the town. Like I like towns have their own kind of energy. Like even coming here, everybody know each other. Everybody grew up with each other. Like it's the same thing as where I grew up. So you gotta kind of understand that everybody. You don't know everybody's what frequency everybody was around. So with that knowledge, you kind of just kind of be a little bit more cautious and respectful, and maybe be more of a observer in life in your early 20s. I mean, you don't have to be, but I'm just realizing like at least I'm doing that. I'm doing a lot more observing because I don't really know what to expect, and sometimes I say my age, and I'm realizing people might either see me as, oh, he don't know shit. So then it's a weird time. It's a weird age. I feel like it's also just a matter of the life I was putting myself in because of my mindset. Mindset is a third thing. Whatever you focus on will become your reality. You don't gotta be spiritual to know that shit. Like that's some real shit. As soon as you believe that you can defy all odds, all of a sudden you're defying all odds. You gotta just see that you are powerful and that you can evolve and you're worth second chances, all that kind of shit. Because if you don't, you know what I'm saying? Like for a while I used to focus on my failures and what I was doing wrong, and that was all I was seeing every day. Like it was like I was waking up exhausted, waking up stressed, waking up gasping for air. But I'm realizing to kind of fill myself up with forgiveness and focus on forgiveness and what I want in life, because we're young, bro. What the heck? We should not be stressing like 80. Like, whoa. Like, why am I stressing like, wow? Like, sometimes I'm like, damn. Like, I saw this video that was like, we got to be careful not to keep indulging in like TikTok and stuff. Because what if that shit ceased to exist and then you go through something that's really stressful? Then what are you going to rely on? Some people, like, I'm learning that we have to learn how to regulate ourselves. And that's why we have to focus on like good things, because it's weird to say like you really just gotta control what you focus on. Another thing I learned is that life just keeps adding up. Like I'm at this point in my life where sometimes I be forgetting like, whoa, like I'm really 23. Like it hit me in my back, like, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that mean that next year I'm gonna be 24, and then the year after that 25, and you just start to realize like the way that you used to perceive that age is like not what it is, because now you it. Right. It's all about perspective, and then you start to remember how you perceived. So then you start to understand how the younger generation perceives you, and you're like, whoa! Like one time I had somebody think that I was in my 30s, and 30 to me is, but it's all just a matter of perspective. And that's something else I'm learning, is that you have to learn that there's thousands of perspectives, so you really can't assume anything anymore, because it can be so many different levels to everything. Like, I feel like low key only thinking it's one way is immature at this point. I'm realizing if you don't realize there's multiple sides to the coin, it's not just two sides or three or whatever, then I'm realizing like that's like a very immature way of seeing. And like that's, I'm meeting a lot of adults that are like not seeing it that way, and I'm like, whoa, like now I'm seeing the disconnect, and not like in development, but I guess in how everyone was raised, because I feel like my generation is starting to realize that we're all seeing the world differently. We're a little bit more open-minded, whereas the older generation is a little bit more closed-minded. When I say older, I mean like the 60-year-olds. But this is just little things. I'm like nitpicking. Don't believe what you see on social media. That's a really big thing. I be going to a lot of parties, and that shit be ass in person. But they be posting that shit. That shit be looking lit. And I feel like that's how maybe it's always been. Like when I was young, bro, I used to be at them parties like boom, 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 now they be in the corner like, yo, what's up, ski, bro. I'm like, bro, and then they be posting. They be like, I'm like, what's lit? Like, this is like an illusion. So I don't really believe what everyone's posting about. Like, sometimes they be acting like it's lit, but like everyone be kind of boring as fuck. So I don't know. Future me. So one thing I didn't mention was like, so I was kind of going into that rant about, you know, everything kind of being an illusion at parties. And that kind of goes into one thing that I learned about being in your 20s, is that you have to create the fun. You have to make the experiences fun. Because when you look around, everybody's waiting for it to be fun, not realizing that we make it fun. I don't know why, like at one point, everyone just kind of forgets that we are the experience, not the experience itself. But I don't know. I think for a while I was forgetting it too. I would go to parties and be like, oh my god, it's so boring. Like, I don't know what it's missing. I guess I have to have fun. I gotta find the joy in my experiences. I can't look for outside validation. You have to validate your experiences all the time. It's very important. I'm also learning that you have to really like give into your inner child, because I'm realizing everyone's like acting older, so people be acting like real like, and I'm like, calm down, like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's like a facade thing. Definitely my age group, like we be acting like we all got it and like da 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 da, and we all I'm learning like, you know, that's just a matter of perspective. Again, you know, 20s is weird. That's the moral of the video. It's just, this is a weird time, so you really can't put too much definition on it, because it's always changing. It's always weird. And if you actually open up to each other, like if we stop being weird 20-year-olds and stop like acting like we can't speak to each other, we would realize that we're all going through the same thing, and it would be a lot easier to communicate and connect. Because that's also one thing. Another thing I learned is that it's hard to make friends. I feel like unless you in college or something, like you only gonna make friends with your work buddies, and that shit can get weird. But I mean, that's a good thing if you are working somewhere where you want to be for the rest of your life. But you know, that's why I want to be an artist, because then I won't have to be friends with the cafeteria lady. Nothing's wrong with that.